Hey Broadway World, this is Kerry Butler. I'm here in Xanadu, currently on Broadway, and this is our sound check because it's in between shows, and that's why I have my makeup and my hair up in this. So Chris asked me to do a reading of Xanadu, and it was a lot of the same people. Jackie and Mary were in it, and then after that, there were a few other readings. I didn't really remember the movie that much. I mean, I knew I loved it when I was little. I loved Lemmy and John, but I'm definitely like tired of movies being turned into musicals a little bit. So it wasn't like I was crazy excited about doing it. But I trusted Chris and I trusted Douglas, and then, when I saw the script, I saw that it was definitely different than the movie. So to me, that's what exciting about it. What's exciting is that it seems like it's an actual new show, like I'm in an original Broadway show, rather than something that's based on a movie. It shocked me. I mean, I thought the show was good and everything, but when you're in something, it's hard to tell how it's going to come off. And, I thought, I was just doing this fun show. It's an hour and a half. It's going to be a good time. Like, I never thought that it would be like, possibly, the show that I've gotten the best reviews for of any show I've done before. I mean, I haven't read them, but from people's reaction, I'm imagining that. It definitely feels similar to Hairspray. The differences are, now they applaud like at the beginning of numbers here because they're like, oh yeah, I love that song. I'm just excited to hear it.
I'm alive, and the world shines for me today. I'm alive, suddenly I am here today. Seems like forever, every day. Thought I could never feel this way. Is this really me? I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive.
And the screaming at the end is quite impressive for such a small house. It's one of the biggest reactions I've heard in a show I've been in, I think. Well, I've met a bunch of the fANADUs. Very, very nice. Actually, I think Andrew is a fANADU. I'm not positive, but he did give me a Kira bear, roller skates, and the skirt. Very nice. So I enjoy the fANADUs. And I've seen a bunch of them, come back again and again and again, and it's really fun for us. They're like friends. Here they are again.
I shall go in disguise.
A disguise? Tell us now of this disguise.
First, I shall not call myself Clio. I shall call myself Kira.
You've thrown them off the track now.
Secondly, I will wear roller skates and leg warmers.
You shall be as current as today's headlines.
And thirdly, I will sport an Australian accent. Good day, mate.
Well, I did a show called Prodigal at the York Theater, and I had to be Australian for that, and they wanted it very authentic. The two writers were from Australia, so they would test me on my accent all the time and be very particular. So I sort of got an authentic Australian accent for that, and then this, I thought, I could have more fun with it, so it got kind of bigger the more we were in previews, and I would sort of feel out the audience where I could go, and the parts of the accent that I always had trouble with are the parts that I ended up exaggerating, like the I sound. Like I would be like staring at their lips trying to get it, and so I'm so proud of it that I got it so well that I just like to flaunt it in front of the whole audience. My favorite word is nigh, or like the O sound. So I would say it's nigh.
1, 2, 1, 2.
So it's like nah. You have to like move your mouth all around to make it too. So that's one of my favorites.
2.
And in the beginning, I used to like when my sister came, she was like, "Did you switch the Australian accent into the Southern for like a second?" And I was like, Susie, I did.
1, 2, 1, 2.
And so yeah, in the beginning, it was but that was only one show, actually. But in rehearsals, it would be a little hard to keep track of stuff, especially like because I do a deeper voice for the regular. When I'm just the Muse, I do the deeper voice, and then the Australian is nasal, and the accent, and the Southern is completely different. So in the beginning, I used to have trouble like switching all the three characters. I'm a little bit of a groove now, but every once in a while, I won't be focusing, and then it'll be like, oh my god, I really have to focus. Like your mind drifts off for like a second, but yeah, you definitely have to be like on, especially with the skating. Like when you're relaxing skating, that's like just standing still. That's the most dangerous time because you forget you're on the skates, and then that's when people get like big injuries. It's not doing the crazy stuff usually that people get the big injuries. It's just standing still and they fall, their legs get stuck underneath them or something. No, I think it's funny. I mean, our producers are just young and, kind of carefree, because they're just going against grain, like they're not marketing the show in the typical way you do a Broadway show, and I think that's great. They're sort of just having fun with it, which is what you should do with Xanadu. Well, you definitely have to adjust your performance based on, what they're giving you. You just have to stay open and listening and trying to go off of what they're doing while still, basically giving the same show, because that's the one that I was directed to do. But yeah, each leading man is very different than the other ones. But in a way, it's helping me with my part because I am the Muse, and this is what I've come down to earth to do, to inspire different men. So, I'm inspiring my four different men, and each one needs a little inspiration in a different way. Now I'm used to them. The only one who can still get me sometimes is just Jackie, because she will throw in an improv every now and again, and actually the hardest part is that other people will start laughing and I'm like looking at them, and then it's hard to keep a straight face. But usually I'm very in control of that. I've been good about that in all my other shows too. And if all else fails, I just bite the inside of my lip. I really love it because this show, I'm the Muse, so I can see the audience, because that was the way Chris conceived it, is that the Muses can actually see all the people around, so we can interact with them, since we're magical. And so that's my favorite part of the show. My favorite part of the show is a part that no one else sees, except to people in this one little section during all over the world. Yes, when I take my sponge and I'm cleaning the railing for those people. Sometimes they think I'm crazy and sometimes they like it. But I always have fun because I'm like, yeah. So I always wanted to adopt, and Ethiopia sort of fell into our lap, so we did the paperwork, and then our daughter just seemed like she was meant for us, and we went to Ethiopia, and the first day we met her, she cried hysterically the whole time, and we were like, oh my gosh, what do we do? But now it's like the best ever, and she's totally meant to be our daughter, and we just couldn't be luckier. She sings Xanadu, and we skate around my apartment singing Suddenly, because she actually she doesn't watch any TV, and the only thing she watched was the BroadwayWorld footage of the rehearsal, and so that's what she thinks Mom does. Well, she thinks everybody who goes to work goes to skate, and she's obsessed with skating. But she made me watch that video, like, first time we watched it like 5 times in that day, and then like for a long time she wanted to watch it every single day. One of the main factors in me taking the job was that it was an hour and a half, and I was like, yes, I'll have so much time with my daughter. And then with all the injuries, that really hasn't happened because we're constantly in rehearsal. But hopefully soon that'll end. Like, we just had our 3rd person that was injured, and bad things happen in 3, so I'm hoping this is the end of it. Please, no more injuries. But so it was really hard in the beginning with her, because she started to not like me that much. I mean, it might be in my head, but she would push me away from her and I'd be crying. But now, I'm winning her back, trying to spend a lot of time with her. And so, if I just do the show, then it's great. But I mean, I'm tired because I'm with her like all day long, like going to the parks all day. I'm very hands-on, like we're out all the time, and then doing the show at night. But you get the energy from someplace, and it's great. It's the best thing. My favorite store is Free People. I also love Century 21. You get the best like name brands for a fraction of the price.
One, two.
Yeah, but Free People is like one of my favorite.
One, two. One,
Yes,
two.
I've been wanting to do that for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've just been lazy. But I would definitely really like to do that. But also, I mean, I would like to do it with a label. So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe during the show I'll be able to record one, because that is something I really want to do. Thank you for watching Broadway World. Come see us at the Helen Hayes Theater.